My, oh my, oh my. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You tuned into another episode of Off the Yard, man. This is the first video I made since coming to rehab. But I got on the phone this morning. I'm scrolling. And my man Jay is telling a story about a dude named DC. I know DC. Bidded with DC. I got a story about DC. For those of you that might not know, DC was about 19 years old when he robbed 3 7-Elevens with a pellet gun. Got like 35 plus years for it. Then he came to prison, joined the Aryan Brotherhood, got strung out on dope, owed a bunch of money, got his ass whipped for about 6 straight months, went to the hole. The people ended up getting on the phone telling his mama that he owed all this money. Sent a list of names, state numbers, flew it down to the address. She sends it to the prison. Prison locks everybody up, including DC. And when he comes out about a month and a half later, they gave that man an ass beating he'll never forget. Moral of that story is, don't do drugs, don't borrow, don't run up debts. Don't join the fucking Aryan Brotherhood out here on the East Coast. Well, I'm sorry, in Virginia. Let's clarify before everybody gets to fucking hating on me. But I met DC a little later. I met DC after all this had happened at a place called Greensville. Now, when I met DC, he was still rocking with these AB dudes, right? Which is funny to me because when all this shit went down, they didn't have his back. Half of them checked in. But I noticed he started hanging around some of my guys. I didn't know DC at the time, like talking about, I didn't know that all this, like I'd heard certain things. I knew he was a fucking junkie. Y'all see that? What the fuck? So, anyway, I kick back and I watch. Some of my guys are coming, DC's trying to holler at you. I wasn't impressed by this dude, man. He was a fat, out of shape, strung out dude who really I had no purpose for. I couldn't even use him as a send-off because he can't fight. He's not gonna stab nobody. Could he wear an ass whipping? Sure, but I don't have any use for a human punching bag. That being said, I did see some free tattoo work in the midst. I needed guys that did tattoos because it did generate a little bit of money. So I let them hang around us for a little while. AB dudes didn't like that. They didn't like me. Now, we had an incident with another guy who was holding some knives in a cell for another organization. Not gonna name the organization, it's not really that important. But one of my guys was in the cell with this guy and got busted doing something else, ending up getting everything fucking shook down. My guy gets locked up. The other dude gets all the knives taken. They all go to the hole. Now we owe. Charge it to the game, homeboy. We don't know shit. But I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have the numbers at the time to go against these other fellas. So what I did was, light bulb went off. I'm gonna get DC to sling ink. I'll feed him some boxing. until we can come to an agreement on what we owe. Now, just like I had light bulbs going off in my head when I brought this to DC, so did he. And he thought he was gonna be slick. So I pull up on him like, look, man, I need a salad. I need you to go in here and sling some meat for these cats. I'll keep you well. I'll make sure you got some food in your box. And when the debt's paid off, maybe we can talk about putting a patch on you, getting you with something real. I never had any intention of putting a patch on that guy. Not even close. A little time goes by, about a month, 2 months maybe. Everything's going as planned. But I would sit in the day room a lot and I would watch my guys' sales and I'd watch transactions that would happen. I'd watch, because he was in the unit with me, he was in the pod with me. Just to kind of peep who was going to their cell, what was getting brought to the cell, what kind of shit were they into when I wasn't looking, supposedly. But I'm always looking, I'm always watching. You have to. As a leader in a prison gang, you have to always be watching. Not only your guys, but your own back. That being said, I started noticing a lot of different gang members going to DC's cells. Why? Why you got so much heat coming to the cell, so much in and out, so much traffic? We got business, we got shit going on. You got all these people coming in and out of the cell. I already knew what time it was. DC was up to his old tricks. He was back up to his old shit, being quintessential DC. I pull up on him. Hey, Holmes, I don't know what you got going on. I don't give a fuck what you got going on. What we got going on is priority for you. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And if I gotta come back up here and have this conversation again, I'm gonna send the wolves. Oh no, it ain't like that. It ain't like that. Now during this time, we were already getting into a little bit of a rift with the AB cats. They didn't like us. They called us race traitors. They called us all types of shit, which, whatever. Wasn't interested in their opinions of us. They couldn't fuck with us. It is what it is. So, DC, though, tried to manipulate the situation to his benefit. He went to the AB guys, spun it like he was gonna give them inside information on DMI, and that he was getting money from all ends, basically. I mean, the play was smart, in a sense. If he could have kept it under control, but he couldn't, because he was fucking blasting all the time. Anyway, I go up in the cell one day, and there's a needle. We make homemade fucking needles a lot of times, or they'll steal them from the medical unit, which he had stolen a couple of needles. There was a needle on his table. I could tell he had just shot up. And kind of pulled up on him, and I started hearing rumors about how he was trying to go, rob Peter to pay Paul. He's back up to his old shit. DC played the wrong motherfucker. I didn't send my guys. I didn't even mention to the ABs that I knew. I farmed it out to another organization. One of the biggest, most savage organizations in the state of Virginia. Why jeopardize my guys that I didn't have very many of? Why even think about fucking with these other clowns? I went ahead, dug in my pockets to make a statement. I didn't like DC. I didn't like what the fuck he was up to. I didn't like the shit that he did. I didn't like the way he made all of us look as white boys trying to be, solid in a fucked up environment. They took the money happily. Waited till Winter Child. They called Chow, told DC, I got somebody coming in at lunch. I need you to hang back. I'll feed you. I'll make sure you got food. I need you to do this tattoo. All right, L, I got you. All right, yeah, you got me, all right. As we all headed out for Chow, 4 guys came into the vestibule there and snuck into our 229 into our pod, went straight up to DC's cell and whooped him probably as bad, if not worse, as the time he got whooped when Jay was talking about him. But I didn't want to keep him in the pod. I didn't give a fuck who he owed. I was going to pay it. I wanted him the fuck out of my face. When they were done beating DC, they drug him out into the middle of the day room and left him there, bloody, beat. I probably could have paid a little extra, had some other shit done to him, but I didn't want all that. I'm not a weirdo. I came back from Chow. I stood over him. I told him that he was no longer allowed to walk around a yard, any yard that I was on. That was the gist of it. Wasn't a whole lot more to it. This is the insanity that we talk about in addiction. This is the insanity that we talk about in recovery from that addiction, is that until you decide to make a conscious effort to change your life, you will constantly reap the repercussions of your fucked up actions. DC's probably still doing this shit to this day. He won't learn. He will do this until he dies from it, more than likely. Till somebody puts a knife in him, or he is brutally gang raped into submission and becomes a boy. That's prison. And unfortunately, he's got a lot of time left. So, much love to the Gladiator gang. Salute to the Blue Collar Kings. And as always, there's 2 L's in a bulletproof vault, man. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, you beautiful motherfuckers, stay up, stay out, stay sucker free, baby.